Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Veg Journey. So today's video I'll be doing it in English. How to do Masters and PhD in Canada. So if you wish to watch this video in Malayalam, I have given a brief interview in my friend's channel Canadian Tales. You can watch it there. So I'll leave the link in the description box. So before even moving on to the topic, let me clear one thing. The masters here I mean is thesis based masters, which is entirely different from a course based masters. Course based masters is a masters in which you will be learning a set of courses for 2 years, and then you will be graded like each semester. Then you will be given a degree after completing whole courses with a designated grade. So in case of MS thesis based, you will be doing experiments in the lab rather than taking courses, and you will have to take courses which might be a minimum of 3 to maximum of 4. It won't go beyond that. And after enrolling into an MS thesis space, you will have to submit a thesis proposal, and then you will have to meet the requirements of a research and then submit a thesis in order to get a degree in hand. So it might take from 2 years minimum to a maximum of 4 years. So it's actually similar to PhD, where you will defend your research and then you will be granted the degree. Before applying for MS and PhD in Canada, you should know the education system in Canada. In Canada, there is undergraduate and graduate education program. So MS and PhD comes under graduate education program. So here in Canada, the bachelor's degree consists of 4 years. So you should have completed a 16 years of education in order to get into a graduate program, that is MS or PhD. So if you are a student from India, you should complete like a 4 years of bachelor's degree in order to get into a graduate program in Canada. So for an MBBS graduate, veterinary graduates, engineering graduate, it's easier to apply for a graduate program directly. But for a basic bachelor's degree like Bachelor of Physics, Chemistry and Science, they have taken like a 3 years undergraduate course in India. So they have to take an additional 1 year like a diploma or like a master's in order to get into a graduate program in Canada. So you might be thinking, so I have already taken a master's in India, so should I have to take a master's again in Canada in order to do a PhD in Canada? No, you don't have to do a master's in order to get into a PhD. You can directly apply for a PhD. Here in Canada, graduate programs includes both MS and PhD. So you don't have to go through like first do MS and then do PhD. So this both comes together. So if you want to do a master's and then do a PhD, well and good, it's fine. But you can always directly apply for a PhD in Canada. So let's start with the topic, how to apply for MS and PhD in Canada. The first and foremost thing is, most of you might not be familiar with the term supervisor. So supervisors are professors who are working under a university in a faculty where they'll be doing their research. So they'll be funded by different funding agencies in order to complete their research project. So they'll hire masters, PhD or even research assistants in order to finish their research. So you have to find these potential supervisors who are willing to take you as a student. In order to know whether they are accepting students, you need to email them. So where can you find their email ID? So it's so simple. You can find their email ID in their university website. So I'll show you how to find email IDs of potential supervisors whose research interest matches yours.
In Google search, type in the name of the university. Here I am giving University of Calgary. Go to their website. Then click on the 3-bar icon. Then future students. Then their graduate program. Then go for explore programs. Here you can see there are different categories which we need to fill. So fill in the faculty where you want to do your master's or PhD. So there are faculty of science, faculty of nursing, social work, faculty of veterinary medicine, etc. So here I'm going for Faculty of Science, and the degree type, whether you want a doctoral, PhD or a master's. Here I'm giving master's. Then type, course based or thesis based, and delivery type I'm giving in class. Obviously research is always in class. Then search programs. So here you can see there are different thesis based program for a Master of Science available. So geoscience, maths, physics, chemistry, there are different categories. So you can go into any of these and search for explore your options. Here I'm going to chemistry. So here you will see the details of program requirements, what and all course you have to take, how many courses you have to take, then whether you need a supervisor in order to get into this MS thesis based in this faculty. So this also varies, and depending upon the faculty and depending upon the university, the requirement varies. Some of the university doesn't require a supervisor for certain faculties, so this is up to you. You have to go and search into each and every faculty in order to know whether they require a supervisors. So here you can see a list of supervisors. So you can also see whether they are accepting students. So some of them are accepting inquiries, seeking students. So accepting inquiries in the sense, if you ask for future, they will be taking students. So now seeking students, Tom Back is seeking students. So you can click on Tom Back. So you can see his qualification, what is he into, the research, all the details. He's taking students for doctoral and masters, both the categories he's taking students. So here you can leave your name, email ID, and provide all the details and why you want to work with the supervisors, and submit it. So he'll contact you if he is interested. But to find his email ID, you can go into that link. So here you can see his email ID. This is how you find an email ID of a professor or supervisor. So you can get his email ID and then email him directly, sending your CV along with the covering letter showing your interest in his research. Here also you can see there is a list of publications or research which he is interested in. He's already published, so you can also go through his published research work as well.
After getting the email IDs of potential supervisors whose research interest is similar to yours, then you can start emailing them. So in the email, you need to showcase your talent, like how well you know the subject, how well you are interested in the subject, and what and all you can contribute to the research project if he or she takes you as a student. And also you have to prepare a CV or a resume which involves your volunteer experience, which showcases your interest in that area of research, which will be very useful. Usually finding a supervisor is not that easy. So if you're lucky enough, you will find one in 2 months. So if you're not, it might even take up to 2 years or beyond that. So you should always plan in advance. So you should start emailing supervisors even in your final year or even pre-final year in order to find a supervisor in the right time. After finding the supervisor, the rest of the things is really easy. So you can start applying to the university after meeting the admission requirements, which is IELTS score and GPA. So IELTS score in majority of universities, they ask for overall band score of 7 and not less than 6.5 in any of the categories like writing, reading, listening and speaking. And it varies from university to university. And it goes the same for GPA as well. So it varies from 2.8 to 3 in 4 scale GPA, and from 7.58, minimum of 7.5 and 8 in case of 10 scale GPA. And if it is in percentage, 75% above, you should have a minimum of 75% in order to get the admission. So after meeting the admission requirements, you have to apply to the university paying an admission fees of around 100 to 200 to 250. The application fees also varies from universities to universities. And then after applying, then you have to wait for your offer letter. You have to receive the offer letter in order to apply for visa. So if you get an offer letter which stating your name, your supervisor's name, and also how many hours you are expected to work in the lab, and your amount of stipend you will be getting, and all the details, it will be explained in the offer letter, undersigned by head of the department or dean of the faculty. So universities take in students in fall and winter terms, but their admission deadline will be before that. So you have to check in the university website for the deadline for each term. So in order to complete the requirements, so that you won't miss the application deadline. As an MS or PhD student in Canada, your designation will be graduate student researcher. You will be paid for that position. According to Canadian law, every student involved in research should be paid a minimum of 20,000 CAD per year. So this minimum payment can vary from university to university, faculties from faculty, and depending upon your supervisor also it can vary. So for me, according to my experience in University of Calgary, they paid like a 22,000 CAD per year for master's students and 24,000 CAD per year for a PhD student. When you think about the initial investment, you have to keep aside like 10 to 13 lakhs in order to come to Canada. So this includes your 1 year full tuition fees, and also like GIC, Guaranteed Income Certificate, which is like 5 lakh you have to show in order to get the visa. So this is according to my experience when I came to Calgary. So the tuition fees in Calgary was around 7 lakhs when I was learning in 2018. So it varies from year to year, and also it varies from universities to university. So for me it took around like 10 to 13 lakhs as an initial investment. But believe me, you can always repay all the money you have invested in the first year when you reach Canada. So if you obviously if you are wisely spending the money and saving it for the second year. When it comes to scholarship, in my experience, you cannot apply scholarship from India. So it is always preferable to apply for scholarship after one term. Then you will be automatically eligible for international scholarship, and the international scholarship is less when compared to the scholarship available for PR and Canadian student, but still you can there are a lot of international scholarships you are eligible to apply for. So apart from the scholarship, there are teaching assistant and research assistant positions available in the universities which you can apply for, and that is also paid position. So from all these, you can easily meet your expenses and also save money for your second year tuition fees, and also repay all the money invested in your first year. So I would say you won't be spending a penny in order to do a master's or PhD in Canada. One of the perks about stipend and scholarship is that it is non-taxable. So you will get the entire amount of stipend and scholarship in your hand with zero tax. The money you make by part-time job is taxable, and also the the teaching assistant position, the research assistant position for which you are paid is also taxable. So if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment box. I'll reply as soon as possible if I know the answer. And if you think this video was informative, please share it with your friends who are like MS and PhD aspirants who want to go outside to do a PhD, and Canada is a best place to do a master's and PhD. So please do share this video and subscribe. Bye.